check your grades if you fix that stuff, but
All right.
all the homework and stuff like that.
We're going to talk about the last week of class because this is when I don't like to hear all these stupid questions. So, I want everybody to get their handouts out. The handout that says things you will be graded on. Get that out. If you don't have it out, I want everybody to get a sheet of paper out and write this down so you won't be asking these questions last week and I will just look at you like you're stupid because I'm not going to reply.
Is this the same
Okay.
stuff that we did last class?
Pretty much. Yeah.
We're going over it again.
Yeah. I have to. Because somebody in here is going to ask me, what's my grade? And I will look at them like, you're stupid.
Hey, when's the last day of class?
I have no idea. None whatsoever.
And,
I don't know what day it is.
And when's the exam?
I have no idea. That's what I'll say. So let's go ahead and get all this out of the way so all the hammies will not be hammying around me.
So if we got all this copied down, then we're good?
Just don't ask them.
Huh?
Isn't
Don't
all
ask
we're
the
doing this
question.
class?
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
fine.
Oh, thanks.
What?
And any bonuses that I put on the test, I'll put on today on the board.
Okay.
All right. Last day of class is going to be on what day?
11:24.
Tuesday, 11/24. Two things are going to happen that day. One, we will discuss homework. We will discuss tests. Any tests that you need me to look at in class. In other words, we will meet that day. We'll kind of check over the homework like I just did a while ago. Make sure everybody's on the same sheet of music as far as things that I've covered, things that I haven't covered. I will look over that. The test. Also, that day, all the homework that I have opened up will terminate at midnight. Okay? I have been known to open up all the homework and tests. I just did that today. So, if you sucked at Unit 2 test and made a 52, and you didn't take it the remaining 2 times because you waited till the last minute, then you can retake Unit 2.
I'm supposed to tell you that Donald is downstairs studying for his exam.
Well, I'm glad everybody is studying for the important class, okay? Because we've got 3 or 4 people that need to study for the important class, so I'm glad that they're studying. I think you're supposed to do that somewhere else, aren't you?
Where?
I think it's called home. Anyway,
What's
no, it's called homework. You know, it's a concept that I'm thinking about introducing to some of my classes. And the last test, well, in your case, there is no last test. We'll start, so we're just, because I'm not going to do Unit 4. So you can complain about that if you want to, but I'm not. So we're not going to have a last test. But the final exam will start on the last day. It starts on 11/24. It will end on midnight, at midnight, 12/6. So you take your calendar out and you mark down how many days you've got it. 11/24 to 12/6. That's about what?
A week and a half.
It's about 2 weeks. Okay? Now a lot of people say, well, Hubert, the last final is on the 7th. Okay, well if y'all want to play that, then we'll have the class we'll have the final in class, 2 hours and just 1 attempt. Or are y'all going to give me that one day?
We like it, yeah.
Okay, I thought so. Okay? So, on the last day of class, which is the 24th, next Tuesday, we're going to be looking at homework, test, any questions on any test, anything like that. And the final exam will start on the 24th. You don't have to worry about the last test. My other classes do, because we're in the middle of a unit. I'm not going to try to start a unit because I'm not going to be here next week. So y'all have next week off. Okay?
Thank you.
Make sure you complain to my boss about that. The one person that's going to do it, go ahead and complain because she already knows about it. Okay? So, next thing we're going to talk about
So,
is the final exam. Yes,
so no class next
Next
Tuesday
week.
or Thursday.
unless y'all want me to try to go through the whole unit in one.
No.
No,
I'm good.
Okay? Final exam.
You do need that. I know.
And I'm going to put it again. Starts on the 24th and goes to 11/6 or 12/6. Okay? It is cumulative. So here's where everybody goes. What about the sections you haven't covered? Yep, I'm going to put sections that I have not covered on the final exam. I do that all the time with your unit tests, right?
You're such a.
Yeah, I do that. I skip a whole section and I put it on the unit test. So yeah, I'm going to do it on the... So if you want to study for the final exam, take the 3 tests, print them out, and study them, because that's where the test questions are going to come from. Remember, I do pull questions. So for your unit, for your number 1, there may be 10 questions to pull from. So you've got to find the probability of these 3 test grades for number 1 on your first test. It may not be the same. It may be different on the final, because that's the only thing I can tell you to do. Do you really want to know what the final looks like? Take it the first time, do the best you can, then print it out. But will it be exactly like the first one you took? No. That's the only way you can prepare for it. But I do not pull stuff that I haven't covered. I don't do that. 2 hours. That's what you get for a final exam. Probably around 25 questions. You have 2 attempts. That's for the major catastrophes that y'all have. 10 to 12 dead grandmothers. Who's got questions about the final exam? Okay, next thing. Things you'll be graded on. Homework is 20%. What should everybody make on the homework?
100.
They won't. Multiply it by 0.2, you get 20 points. Now, the Unit 1 test, Unit 2, Unit 3, and the in-class. This is where I tell you how I'm going to do the in-class. During the week of finals, I'm going to be grading those in-class tests. There's 2 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of you missed one. You missed one, I'll take your highest grade and I'll convert it to 50-point scale. For example, if you took the first in-class test and you made a 50 on it, you took it, but the second one you missed. Well, whatever you made on that unit test, I will convert it to a 50% or 50 scale. In other words, if you made a 90 on it, then that would be a 48 or 45 or whatever on the, so I'd put a 45 in there, and the in-class test you would make a 95. If you miss both of them, then I'll take your online test and I'll convert them both to 50-point scale, and that'll be your grade. So if you made a 90 on the first one, on in-class, the highest grade is 90, that'd be a 45. Then you made 100 on the second one, then that'd be 50, so you'd have a 95 for your in-class test. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's going to make a 0 on the in-class test. Everybody got that? So that's the fair way to do it. So I will take care of this during the week finals. Okay? So that will be times, average those together. So in the week of finals, if you want to check your grade, you average these up, divide by 4, and that is your grade. You multiply that grade times what? 0.6. So let's say you make 100 average. Then that's how much? 60 points. And then what is the final exam? Final exam is what?
20.
20%. So let's say you make 100 on the final exam. That's 20 points. You add those three together, and that's your grade. Now, of course, you don't have to do that. Why?
It does it for you.
It does it for you, exactly. Grade book. Now, the reason I go through this is for 2 reasons. One is one of y'all are going to come up to me or email me at the end of the week, putting in the finals, and you're going to ask me what?
What's my final grade?
And will I respond?
No.
No. If you come by and ask me in my office, I will rudely keep working and ignore what you just asked. Okay? Because I'm told you 3 or 4 times during the semester, this is how you check it. Make sure you push the button that says all assignments, or what does it say? Cumulative grade or something like that?
Overall score.
Overall score, okay. So it used to say all assignments, but make sure you hit the button that says overall score. Now, how do I do this? Well, all my grades, the way I set up Gradebook is I set it up as 59.49, 69.49. I don't know why. Let me just write it over here and we'll write it right. 59.49, 69.49, 79.49, 89.49. So if your grade comes out to be 89.5, you got a what?
90.
You get an A. Okay? So this is an A, this is a B, this is a C, and this is a D, I think. Anything below this is an F. Okay? So that takes care of y'all calling me, emailing me, and texting me and say, well, I got a 59.3. Well, if you got a 59.3, you got an F. Why? Because I give y'all plenty. I give y'all at least half a test on each unit test. That's 3 grades. And then on those 3 tests and the final, you can drop the lowest grades. So that's 6 tests that you can drop, 6 grades to drop, and then the final, you can drop it. So that's 7 grades. After dropping 7 grades and giving you a 50 on every single test, I think I've given you points. Okay, so don't even ask. Okay? Now, let's say you go to your grade book and you have 69.2. Well, then you email Hubert and text Hubert and say, I need extra points. Well, if you email me, will you get a response?
No.
If you call me, you will get hung up on. Because I'm not going to even answer that. What do you do? Well, I don't like this. So then I go back to my homework, my unit test, and my final, and I do what?
Redo them.
I redo them. And I get that grade to come up to a 79 or a 72. I get it up to something I want to get it up to. Pretty self-explanatory. I think it's very fair. And the last thing, let's see, that's the 16th and the 23rd. 24th is the last day of class. And of course, y'all don't come after the last day of class. And this is 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, these 3 days I will be gone. So that only leaves these 2 days. Okay? We will not meet on this day. Now, y'all are welcome to come by my office. Questions, anything you want me to go over mathematically, I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. I will be here on campus on this day because I got to teach my calculus class because we're still finishing up the unit. So I will be over there, and then I'll probably come over here. I'll probably be over here instead of my office. So if you got any kind of math questions, you want me to do any math questions, you want me to go over anything, homework questions, whatever, I'll be in here. Okay? So I will be here, but we're not going to have what? No class. I will be here the last day of class, and we will go over anything that we want to go over. If you choose not to come, then that's fine. But don't cry and whine if you miss something. I will record it, and I will put it on, just like I will put it on today. Okay? Y'all don't have to worry about these 2 Mondays because y'all don't come to my class on Monday. Now, who has questions about the last week of class? All right, y'all get out of here. Have a good day. Get all this homework done, get all the tests done, and that way all you got to do is what?